It's only Finnegans Wake. Thunderword number 10. All right, enough Wagner. But I play the apocalyptic music for good reason. It's the end of the world here. It's on page 424. There it is right there. Now, you may well ask, but Joyce Geek, what kind of 628-page book would put an end to the world on page 424? What about the remaining 204 pages? Are they blank? No, they're not. Oddly enough, the book does continue much in the same way as before, with its linguistic distortions and bizarre syntax. We're just taking a quick break for the Battle of Armageddon. Or at least the Scandinavian version of Armageddon, Ragnarok. All right, enough of that. We're here to learn real Norse mythology. Ulhad Turdenvir Mudgard Gringneroldr Molner Fenrir Loki Loki Bogi Mandod Reren Cert Krin McGurn Rocker. Now, here's a bit of trivia. This thunderword has 101 letters, as opposed to the standard 100 issued to the other 9 thunderwords. There are a number of theories as to why this is the case. Perhaps it needed to make room for all those R's. Almost twice as many occurrences of the letter R than any other thunderword. It is Scandinavian, after all. Think Swedish Chef Muppet if you need an example. So anyway, breaking the word down, nearly everything is taken from the Norse Eddas, starting with Ulhad, which, at least according to Roland McHugh and Raphael Slepon, is derived from a couple of gods of winter, Ullr and Hodr. Scandinavia, unsurprisingly, has a lot of gods of winter, but Ullr apparently specializes in skiing and archery. Why those two things specifically is anybody's guess, and Hodr is the god who winds up killing Baldur with the mistletoe in the Eddas, with a little help from Loki, of course. But also, at least according to Dunja Christiani in her book Scandinavian Elements of Finnegans Wake, Ulhad could also be playing with the Norwegian Ulvehod, which means wolf's head. This may be somewhat fanciful. It was, after all, rejected by both McHugh and Slepon for their annotations projects, but it certainly works thematically, not just because of the role that wolves play in the Norse Eddas generally, but also because a wolf's head is very often depicted on the shingles that hang outside European pubs. And, of course, public houses play an enormous role in Finnegans Wake. Anyway, my point here is that one must allow for whim when reading this book. It's all part of the fun. And speaking of things that play enormous roles in Finnegans Wake, our next word component, Turdenweir, is taken from the Norwegian Tordenvir, thunderstorm. So once again, thunder is included in our word. Our next word component, Mudgard, comes of course from Midgard, the name given Earth in the Norse Eddas, and Gringnir is a play on Gugnir, the name given to Odin's spear. Urdur is the name of one of 3 Norns, who are kind of the Norse versions of the Fates from Greek mythology. And here we have another weapon's name. Boy, the Vikings sure were into fetishizing their weapons. Mjolnir, Thor's hammer. And we all know who Thor is, right? That's right, there he is, the thunder god himself, bonking Loki on the head. Next we have a direct reference to wolves with Fenrir. This is the name of Loki's wolf offspring, who is prophesied to kill Odin at the Battle of Ragnarok. Now, I don't think that there are any Marvel's Comics depictions of Fenrir, nor do I really care if there is, so you'll just have to use your imagination for that one. But yes, there's Loki himself with Lucky Loki, played by none other than Tom Hiddleston in the goofy helmet. Hi there, Tom. Moving on to Baugi-mand, which, in addition to referring to Boogeyman, also refers to Baugi, a giant from the Norse Eddas who held watch over what was called the Mead of Inspiration. It was some kind of morbid elixir made out of poet's blood, and it apparently gave the drinker the power to write poetry, I guess. And that brings us to Odreren. Odreri is the name of one of the vessels that was used to house this rather odd mead. This thunderword component can also accommodate a couple of other minor characters from the Norse Eddas, Audr, Freya's husband, and Rarin, a king from a sister epic of the Eddas, the Volsunga Saga from Iceland. Surt Kryn Magurn is a stringing together of some other names that appear in the Eddas: Surt, ruler of the fire world; Hrimgerd, another giant, this one female; and Grimnir, one of the many names Odin uses when he disguises himself in order to walk among mortal men. And when I say many, boy, that's exactly what I mean. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 150, if I'm not mistaken. And with that, the final syllables of our Thunderword adventure end as the gods themselves end, with Ragnarokr, a play on Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods, or, as Richard Wagner would have it, Götterdämmerung. So, one last time, here are the word components. Repeat after me. Ulhad Turdenweir, Mudgard Gringnir, Urdur Molnir Fenrir, Lucky Boggyman, Audrerin Surt Krynmagurn, Ragnarokr. It probably goes without saying that Richard Wagner based his ring cycle on the Norse Eddas, but, I suppose I should just take a moment here and recognize the immense popularity the Norse mythos has had in our present entertainment culture. Not just those truly ridiculous Marvel Comics movies. There's also the Game of Thrones, the Lord of the Rings, etc. We just can't seem to get enough of this stuff. So, there it is, our 10th and final Thunder Word. Ulhad Turdenweir Mudgard Gringnir Urdur Molnir Fenrir Lucky Baugi Mandad Raren Surt Krynmagurn Ragnarokr. The end of the known universe. But still with over 200 pages in the book left to go. This is all part of Joyce's great theory of history. Endings, beginnings, they're all the same. Time is a circle, after all, linear though it may seem. In conclusion, I cannot recommend Finnegans Wake enough. Every page is its own journey, every sentence its own adventure, every word its own universe. I've barely skimmed the surface of these thunderwords alone, let alone Finnegans Wake as a whole. But as far as I'm concerned, hey, if you're watching this now having made your way through all 10 videos, you are now an official Joyce geek. Welcome to the club.